Welcome to Something Newsy. This is Agent Ryan, and I'm here with
Michelle Hagge.
As Veterans Day approaches, we would like to discuss how our respective relationship with the military was impacted by our education. I'll go first. I am a military veteran. I was in the United States Navy. I joined the Navy at 17, and I did a duty mission to join. I joined in 2014 and took up a boot camp that year in November. After I completed boot camp, I went to school in Pensacola, Florida, where my job was as a helicopter mechanic. So basically, you spend about 6 months learning about the job, not even your particular platform. So I ended up working on helicopters, and I learned more about jets than I did helicopters. But you go to school for that amount of time, and then they send you off to the fleet. And the fleet is basically the big you end up on a ship, or you end up at a short command. So my first duty station was in San Diego, and I was stationed as a helicopter squadron, and I was there for 2 years, and then I transferred to Japan, where I was at Newsy, and then I did another 2 years there as a helicopter mechanic, and after that, I transferred back to San Diego, and I was helicopter mechanic again there, and then I transferred to another squadron in San Diego where I did more of a desk job that helped civilians out with helicopter maintenance and different things like that. From there, I separated from the military in 2021 and have been going to school ever since. In my last couple of years in the Navy, I did start going to school, and juggling those two things was very difficult, very, very difficult. Obviously, there is no 9 to 5 in the Navy. We work 12 hours each day. And sometimes it's 12 hours. If you're on the ship, you work 12 to 14 hours. If you're on land, you typically work a regular 8-hour shift, but it could be any amount of time, honestly. So from even back home, it was pretty difficult trying to go to school and being in the Navy at the same time. I was doing mostly online school, so that did help. I didn't have any classes in person until my second year here at Mesa.
So I have a different type of experience. So I am a military spouse, and with that, it meant that I juggled the household and the kids while my husband was quite often deployed, and as Rachel said, worked 12 to 14 hours some days it's overnight, sometimes it's 6 months at a time. We did have a deployment one time that was about 9 months, right after 9/11, so juggling those kinds of things. Didn't allow for me to do my schooling until later. So right before my husband retired, I did start working towards my education goals, and I did all online courses while he was in and out and juggling kids and house and a full-time job on top of that. I worked for a nonprofit that serves military families, so I always kept in that same lane. And in addition to that, I volunteered as an ombudsman for several of the plants. So it was greatly impacted with my family life, my volunteer life, my work life, my school life. And it did create some challenges in juggling, but it did teach me a lot in how to juggle all those things. Within the last couple of years, I've changed jobs. I now work for the American Red Cross Service to Armed Forces, which traded me for the daytime job to a active deployment myself. So I returned about a year ago from a 5 to 6 month deployment to a NATO base in Romania. While I was there, I attempted to take classes, and because of some of the challenges that comes with time change, working with administration, I wasn't able to. So I did take a little bit of break, and as soon as I got back, I was able to rectify what was the issues and got that started to complete. I'm very close. Allegedly, I will be done this spring semester with my education to hopefully transfer to SCSU to move on to the next phase of my education goals. So being a military spouse and attempting the waters at education has been more of a challenge than anything else. I know that there's a lot of things that go into that that realm of things with having to juggle all of it. But as far as the ability to go to school as a military spouse, there's no reason why you can't. It's just a matter of how to figure it out.
Right. That made me think about you were saying that it is difficult, but I wanted to mention that maybe as a bit of advice for anybody who is a veteran who just got out and is going to school, that the transition is actually very difficult. And it's very difficult for you being in such a structured environment and then being out and not having anybody tell me where to go, not having anybody tell me what to do, not having anybody tell me what to wear, and having to discipline myself in a different way with school. That was very different than showing up to work. And my job, which I still do now on the civilian side of the health system, was very important and it was dangerous almost. Like if you make mistakes and you could still forget. That is just the truth. So I'm used to that, but when I got out and was going to school, now there was a different pressure, I guess. And the success was strictly based on me and how much I put into it, but it was really difficult. And it was hard to adjust in the beginning, especially because it was during COVID as well. So a lot of classes, all my classes actually went online for the first year, and then having to come on campus, and I was not 18 years old, so I felt weird, I felt old, but I felt old, I was older than other people, and I feel like I had more life experience than the people in my class, and I was in classes with people who just were kind of, pretty chickens. They didn't really know a lot about life, and I just felt like I was an open school to life at that point. So that transition was hard, but I will say that at this point, I've gotten 3 bachelor's degrees, 3 associate's degrees. I'm going to cry. Okay, but we're going to cut that out. I got 3 associate's degrees, so it is something that you can figure out how to do. It's something that if you really put in the effort, just as you did in the military, you can be successful. Definitely. Once I figured out the best way for me to attack going to school, it worked for me, and I've been successful at it.
So I'll piggyback on that, as you mentioned, feeling old. So I consistently find myself being the same age as my professors. It's happened multiple times, and it's always very comical to see the reactions of the students when they realize how old I am. And the fact that, something that's even more interesting, I started college the same year as my oldest child. We started Mesa together. We even took a class together. So that has been an interesting added bonus to me and my siblings, letting them see me, my kids see me, going to school, juggling all of the things, and like currently with this particular semester, having an in-person class on top of it. It has changed the way that I work around what I do, and I'm very fortunate, extremely fortunate, that my leadership allows for me to add this in, and granted it's my lunch hour, but they are making sure that my education goals, which will support me being able to do my job more efficiently and better and have room for growth, those are key things that I've been allowed to do, and I'm very fortunate. And so coming back to school, or actually just coming to school, I never went to college, never. Me neither. So coming to school at 40 plus, and I'm okay saying that. Yeah, so 40 plus, and walking around with, the junior kiddos, but being able to participate in that, and then also I feel as though each time I'm in a class that I'm in a cohort or I'm in a group project, because I have that experience, I've been able to really impact the success. Exactly, because I have different knowledge. But I also say too, how exciting it is that each time I'm in one of those cohorts, they're teaching me something too. Like every time there's some new platform that we have to learn and use, and some other product, and it has really given me something additional to my education, being at the junior college level, and being able to ease into it instead of just going straight to the four-year institution. And I appreciate how it's shaping my education. There are things about it that have been very beneficial. There's been things that have been hard to do, and there's been a lot of struggle, and there's been a lot of times when I'm like, how am I going to fix this? And I mean, I started in 2019. Welcome to 2023. And yes, it would take me a lot longer because I'm taking in bits and pieces, but it hasn't stopped me from wanting to achieve. Right. And so as we come back and circle around to, being military, a veteran, I'm a military spouse, and that points onto a piece too I want to touch on because it's getting close to Veterans Day. Remember, when you see a veteran out in the community, say thank you to them for all that they do and that they support in the community, and you live and breathe and eat under their freedom. But also remember too, when you're saying thank you to your veterans, say thank you to the veterans for your service, and to the veterans' families. You can say thank you for your support, but they didn't serve. There are days that are set aside to appreciate those family members. There is April, which is Month of Military Child. Tell them thank you 1,000,001 times every day and twice on Sunday in April. And then there is also Military Spouse Appreciation Day, which is in May. It is the Friday before Mother's Day, so if you're not sure and you want to write that down or you want to Google it. And the same thing for any of the family members who serve as volunteers for the community. There is Ombudsman Appreciation Day. There is, Family Readiness Appreciation Month. There's Military Volunteer Appreciation. There's a million thank yous for your support in the community. But remember, Veterans Day is for thanking the Veteran Day. Memorial Day is not a day to celebrate. It is a day of remembrance and to think. And so when you are coming along these holidays or coming along these commemorative dates, remember to thank your veterans for their service and all of the things that they have done to support your freedom. And then, yes, absolutely thank the family members. I mean, we love having the appreciation for the support. We are supported. That's the biggest takeaway I can put. And I know you as a veteran have feelings on that too, so I'll let you dig into that.
I just think it's important to know the difference in the holidays. I can't lie, when I was 16 and not in the military and had zero intention of staying in the military, I had no idea what these holidays are for. And I don't know if I ever even knew anybody in the military at that point. So, but I think it's like anything else. Just a quick little Google search, do your research, and it's not going to harm anybody. If you tell the wrong person the wrong thing, but it's better to really know what the reason behind the causes are. And that makes the thank you a little bit better,
More impactful.
More impactful. I just want to keep those wrapped up here. I just wanted to piggyback on the feedback. So this is specifically to any of the veterans who are doing their first semester, second semester, and they don't know if they want to continue. This is not high school, right? This is all your choice. You're choosing to do this, you're choosing to use this to better yourself. You don't love your military job, and that's what you experience you have. This degree might be able to get it for both. You can have that one thing to one up the next guy, right? Or the next job in the year, it's going to be really beneficial for you. And just know that this is something that we need to better ourselves. And if you're in the military and going to college and you're done, is going to be the easiest thing you've ever done in comparison.
And I'm going to piggyback after your piggyback after your piggyback. So how I came to needing to get my education as a military spouse. I put my job on hold for several years to stay home with kids. It was more economical. What's the family? We didn't have enough money for everybody to work. So I put my life on hold a little bit so that I could support our family. And when I came back to the working world, I was blessed to be able to have a little bit of work experience because of my volunteerism, but I didn't have any work experience. And because I don't have any education experience either, I find myself consistently having to go to entry-level jobs. And I get told that I cannot apply for managerial jobs because I don't have the degree. And so me coming to school was a necessity for me to be able to compete. So if you're a military spouse and you haven't thought about trying to go to school while you're in your little breaks, while you're raising your children, I greatly encourage you, take one class and see if you can do it. And that's how I started. I took one class, I didn't die, and I kept going. And slowly but surely, I've found ways to mesh it into my daily life. You know, there's days where I'm on the treadmill and I'm reading that week's reading so that I can get both my workout and my homework and everything. There's lots of different ways that you can adapt and overcome. So try to do that. So that's the end of my feedback. Of the feedback and the feedback.
All right, thank you guys for listening. Happy Wednesday to all of you.